Oh, nice. Welcome to the jungle. I'm in Singapore, in Dempsey, outside of Sammy's Curry. They've been open since 1963 and they specialize in sapadu, these banana leaf meals. So we should come see them. This way. This is how the restaurant works. You get your banana leaf, you get your rice, you get all your curries, your dals, all your textures. All of that opulence is on display here at the buffet line. This cooking starts very early in the morning, but there is one thing that they make to order, and that's what we're here to see, the fish head curry, a unique Singaporean delicacy that has to be cooked inside of the kitchen. Come with me. Welcome to the kitchen on the left. The biggest pots I've ever seen in my life. Gigantic. Flavor slowly simmering away. But to start this curry, you have to start with the fish. The fish head itself is angoli, which is what's known as white snapper or sea bream. The shape of the head means that you can get all these different textures out of the fish head. The upper lip, the bottom jaw, the cheek, even these bottom parts down here all provide different types of textures after they're cooked. Fish head curry is an interesting story because it's a delicacy among Chinese people. In the context of Singapore, Indian chefs invented this dish in the beginning for Chinese consumers that then ended up proliferating all over Singapore. So chefs preparing a new fish head curry, the first step is actually to build a delicious base. That delicious curry base starts with fresh ingredients, the dried chilies, onions, and tomatoes. Whoa. This is stone?
Yeah.
And this is also stone. Oh, cool. Two pieces of stone, one at an angle. Fresh ingredients go in. A little bit of water goes in. Oh, cool. Oh, I understand. It's a industrially sized mortar and pestle. The slow grinding process, slow extraction of that water means that you can get it as fine as possible. It's pretty similar to doing it by hand, but it's going to get it finer than, for example, a food processor. You see all of those juices being extracted out of the onions and the tomatoes? I bet if you got very, very close, it's actually quite smooth, the two stones. So the extraction is a little bit gentler. You're breaking open all those cell walls, getting everything ready for the cook. This is the starting point for a lot of the curries, the starting point for a lot of the cooking. The aromatic base of every single curry is different, which means this one is specifically calibrated for the fish head curry. This step is the tempering of the spices, the activation of the aromatics. First thing that goes in is dried spices, fenugreek. Without activating it in spices, it's not going to have that depth of flavor. And then fennel seeds, and then cumin. And you're going to start smelling it in the air. Then come the fresh aromatics that are higher in moisture, which means that everything's going to slow down in cooking. Temperature's being brought down just a little bit, but now you can start to smell the red onions, the chili peppers, and the garlic happen. The fresh curry leaves, oftentimes a underrated and forgotten component in a lot of more East Asian style curries, goes in next. They're called aromatics because they are aromatic. You should be able to smell them. When I say the aromatics are activated, it means that they're elevated, they're levitating in the air, and you'll be able to smell them. It's a good cue for when the next ingredient needs to go in. Now the base aromatic paste, chef has already developed a deep brown color. The addition of the water crashing into the oil means that it's going to start to emulsify and bubble away. Chili powder for spice, coriander for warmth, turmeric for color and for earthiness. That base combination is very classic. All of this is mind-blowingly exciting to me because for a lot of Western chefs and even Chinese cooking, our first step is something like salt and pepper or light soy, dark soy. Whenever I think about South Asian cooking, the first step is 100 different dimensions, and those precise ratios built off of experience and generations of thought and expertise, that's good stuff. Oh, it's starting to split a little bit, which is a good indication that your paste has achieved sufficient texture. Cool. You see those oil droplets on the top? That means that the paste is hot enough. It's pushing the oil out, and the oil and the water is starting to separate. That oil extracting from the water means that you can start to extract different types of compounds, different types of flavor compounds. Tamarind paste squeezed into the water. So tamarind is a fruit. It's also a source of acidity and often a marker for the more South Indian style fish head curries that are out there. Tamarind is interesting because it is high in tartaric acid, which is different from acetic acid and citric acid. citric acid from limes, for example, acetic acid from vinegar. Tartaric acid is a little bit more aggressive. It comes at you very, very quickly and gives you that distinct flavor profile that people know of fish head curry from South Indian restaurants. And the fish is going to go in directly into the curry and not into the water. You don't want it, you want it to cook fully concentrated, full of flavor. Chef ladles a little bit more of the gravy, more of the sauce over the fish to make sure that it cooks evenly. The time that the fish takes to cook is based on its size, about 10 to 15 minutes for this medium-sized head. It's gorgeous. Chef really wanted to show us how the curry paste was made from scratch, but typically in the restaurant, when an order comes in, this is what happens. There's the gigantic vat, the biggest pot I've ever seen in my life, is simmering away, and fish head is dropped into order. He'll take the fish head out and put it inside of the clay pot. These clay pots look like those Chinese clay pots, and they will heat up, hold on to that heat for the fire. They go onto a smaller burner, ridiculously hot, and chef scoops in a little bit of that curry, which has been absorbing all of the flavor from all of the fish head that's been cooking all day over the top of the fish head. That curry is full of fish and seafood flavor, as well as all of those base aromatic that he's developed over time. Come over here, look at the flame. What's awesome about this is, first, there's a Chinese clay pot. The fish head is inside of that pot with the curry. As the flame licks up on the side, that gravy is going to start to bubble. The sugars are going to start to caramelize against the edges. A little bit of those fat and all those things are going to hit the side of the flame, and they're going to ignite. As they ignite, you get another layer of flavor. You get smokiness, you get a lot of that depth. And finally, because it's so hot, as the gravy begins to reduce, flavors start to concentrate. Oh, nice. All right, that's enough cooking. I'm gonna go find myself a table, sit down, try this fish head curry. Sammy's, since 1963, has been known for sapadu, which is the banana leaf meal. When you order your banana leaf meal, you are guaranteed rice. You're also guaranteed an assortment of textures, pickles, and dal to add to each bite. What you do get to choose, though, is the proteins that come along with the meal. For today, I'm going to do the small fish head curry.
Yeah.
I'll do one piece of masala chicken.
Yeah, sure.
And then just one piece of the sambal prawn.
Sure.
The fish head curry at Sammy's has become a staple, and it's become an iconic dish within Singapore. They serve average of at least 100 a day and almost up to 200 on the weekends. Here it comes. Oh, fish head curry first. Thank you. Look at this. With the classic useless vegetable garnish. Very good. Fish curry. You can smell it. You can see the caramelization along the edges. It's still bubbling because clay pots are so good at holding onto that heat.
The rice?
Yes. Yes, please. So what rice is this?
It's a biryani rice.
Amazing. So nice. There's this wonderful thing that happens whenever you're eating warm food on top of banana leaf, and there's reason for this. The banana leaf, one side is waxy, the other side is matte. The waxy side actually has a wax on it. When it heats up just a little bit, it produces a little bit of aroma. So all over Southeast Asia, Malaysia, for example, Indonesia, nasi lemak, you'll see banana leaf being employed in warm rice contexts so that the banana leaf ends up perfuming the rice.
Yeah, some vegetable.
Perfect.
Today vegetable is the bottle gourd.
Oh,
So like a white pumpkin, this Indian vegetable.
water gourd, cooked inside of a dal, lentils, bright yellow, some mustard seeds you see, a little bit of that cumin.
This is a masala chicken.
Oh,
It's the
gorgeous.
famous one. This is a sambal prawn.
Awesome.
You want to try this one, Gus?
Yes, sure.
It's a Mysore mutton. It's
Oh,
very nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Just for yeah.
This is a lot of food for one person, huh?
Can show.
Amazing.
But
So
slowly can
cool. Look at all the different types of textures with the curry. First of all, from wet to dry, right? Sambal,
Sambal
prawns.
prawn.
One of the most exciting things you can see as a chef when it comes to curry is the splitting of the oil, which is to say that once it splits, the oil is going to carry different types of flavor compounds than the liquid, the water, and a little bit of mutton from the kitchen. But the fish head curry is the main thing here. Chef describes this gravy as relatively thin compared to a lot of the other Indian gravies. I mean, this you can almost drink like a soup. And now that we're coming towards the end of the day, we know that we have one of the most delicious versions possible. that's soaked up all of that fish flavor from the other fish heads have been cooking all day. We should try to explore the different aspects of the fish head. First is a little bit of neck that is attached to it. That's this part in the end. So as you can imagine, this is the part that extends into the fillet. So you'll get a little bit of meatiness at the back. This is probably the tensest and flakiest part of that fish. Maybe a little bit of bones on the side, but that is the most recognizable everyday. This is, I think, what whitefish looks like texture. A little bit of flakiness. This type of snapper is flaky, yes, but it is also a little bit stringy. And note that because of the curry, because you want that flavor, it is braised for a longer period of time. So it might be more cooked than another application. Should we go for that first? Yum. Oh, that curry is so good. The first taste for me is like a pepper, tomato, eggplant type of situation. And then it slowly builds in terms of heat, but also the grounding spices. Definitely taste coriander powder. The turmeric is just in the background. The spice, for me, 3 out of 5. Maybe even 2 out of 5. Not the most aggressive thing in the world. Most Asian kids know this. The most prized part of the fish oftentimes is the cheek, because it's very, very tender. But on a gigantic head like the snapper, this cheek is huge. You see this triangle? That's all cheek. This is a piece that you often reserve for grandma. And yes, it's tender, but it's also cohesive. It's also one piece. That's a little bit of fenugreek there. Wow. Slippery. Yum. White snapper does a really good job. And it survives the amount of cooking that happens in the clay pot, the temperature. But apart from the belly, this jowl area is going to be the fattiest part of the fish. So all of this is going to come off in one piece, if I manipulate it correctly, underneath this bone. This, yu gao in Hong Kong. This is the neck. I mean, a lot of people who've been to Japanese izakayas will know this cut out of hamachi, out of salmon. This is the fattiness. I mean, you can see the gelatinousness of it. I'm gonna break off the part behind near the gill here. This is my dad's favorite cut. You see it? You can get a sense of the texture here at the end. Gelatin, collagen, all of that slippery deliciousness stuff. This is why fish head is a Chinese delicacy, because from the back all the way to the front, you get so many different textures of fish. You would be doing the fish a disservice if you were to just break all of this up, put everything in your mouth and just spit out the bones. I think dissecting it a little bit, experiencing the different textures is part of the game. Okay. Best bite so far. You see when you pull open the bottom, you see all of that fattiness, all of that gelatin, all of that collagen. That's melt in your mouth goodness, right? Not to use a cliche, but this is good for you. And it's ridiculous that this is part of a fish. If you were to only eat the fillet, you'd only get the lean parts. Yum. I wouldn't say this is for beginners, but it is for the curious, and it definitely is for the adventurous. The last but not least, many people, including my sister, are huge fans of the eye. I gotta say, I didn't grow up thinking this was the best thing in the world. But when in Singapore, fish head curry, that's a grand prize for a lot of people. There are some meals that you eat that you just don't stop thinking about them, because as full as you are, you just want to continue to navigate the adventure of deliciousness. And I cannot think of very many other ways to eat other than banana leaf that would be this opulent, especially in the middle of the day. The fact that there are so many things in front of you that have all been cooked with so much attention to detail from scratch is ridiculous. You can't go to Singapore and not eat Indian food. It's one of the core arteries of the culture and the cuisine that makes up all the good things that have come to Singapore.